Hey everybody, how's it going? Today's Thursday, so I'm mixing feed today. First thing we're gonna do is check how many cows we have milking, see how much feed's left over from the day before, and get the skid loaders warmed up. Alright, I'm just stepping into the barn here to check and see how much feed's left in the old group to the right. They have a little bit left, and that's about right. That's where we want it. We don't want them to run out of feed, but we don't want to have to clean up a bunch of feed either. Alright, so I'm just going to drop off this heifer mineral in the S750 and then start shaving bunk. This first bunk I'm shaving is corn silage. I like to work my way across the bottom and then come back and take a full swipe the whole face of the bunk. That way I'm not trying to deface through a pile of silage. Here's our second bunk. It's got a layer of corn sitting on top of the haylage. You can see the split where that arrow is blinking. I would not do this again, as it's hard to estimate how much in each swipe you're getting of corn and of hay. We're just kind of calling it a 80-20 split right now. 80% hay, 20% corn. Now we're in the haylage bunk here, just trying to dig across the bottom. Haylage is a lot harder to shave than corn silage. It's more twisted together with the longer grass. Alright, so here's an outside the cab view. This was actually filmed another day when our main feeder Mike was back, as I can't really be inside the cabin outside filming at the same time. I've only got the one camera. You can see it really throws that haylage there, and he's just trying to kind of work that bottom and get it away from the bunk, squaring it up. This skid loader, we actually put LED lights on the front, and that helped a lot with being able to see early in the morning, because when we're shaving the bunks to get down all the feed, it's dark out. Alright, so here I'm just revving up the tractor, turning on the PTO, and then I can start dumping the feed in. Can't really see right there, I just swung the scale around and zeroed it. Then I can start adding in all the different ingredients for this heifer cart. First I'm going to grab my haylage. I usually give the heifers the stuff off the sides, because if there is any spoilage, it's generally on the sides, and you want to give your best stuff to the milk cows. The heifers are a lot tougher and not as picky. Just tossing the heifer mineral in. I usually do it on the second bucket so it mixes really good. Alright, so this is after the feed has been mixed. I just dumped off the feed for the little carts so we can go around and feed all our smaller heifers. We're gonna go into the old barn, feed the heifers in there. This is kind of a different angle, but I thought it'd be neat to see what it looks like from behind the trailer. I'll have some other shots later on. You can see Brian closing the door there. We still have cows coming back to the group. You see all the heifers coming up from the back. As soon as you start dropping the feed, they're pretty hungry. And now we're up in the new barn. I'm feeding the confirmed pregnant heifers right now. And you can see in the background the big group of milk cows is heading down to the parlor. And they'll get fed after they're milked so that they come back up easily without having to be herded up. So now we're mixing the cow cart. I'm just pulling under the high moisture corn elevator, checking to see I'm lined up, popping it in park. Alright, just zeroed out the scale, and now I'm going to get the high moisture corn first out of the silo, and then we'll just keep filling up the ingredients. Now we're gonna head up to the supplement bin. Alright, now we're gonna pull the supplement from this bin here. Now we're off to the bunks, where we're going to grab our corn silage and haylage. Alright, now I'm going to turn the PTO on so I can start mixing the feed. I give it about 1700 RPMs. Dumping some haylage in right here. I'll show you guys a shot of what it looks like after the haylage has been added to the high moisture corn and the supplement. You can see it's starting to get mixed in there. This particular shot is from a different day, but Mike's bringing the haylage corn mix up, and you can see how easy this high dump bucket just reaches over and dumps the entire contents without having to shake a normal bucket back and forth over and over and over, which wears the pins on the loader out even quicker. Not to mention we can reach the whole way in now, as before we could only reach up to the edge and had to just shake it out. It's just been a fantastic bucket. Here I'm adding in the corn silage. And here's another shot from a different day, but in the same mixing order. Mike's just dumping off the corn there. Just wanted to show you guys what it looks like from the outside. And here's once all the ingredients have been added. Alright, so just one thing I want to touch on quick here while I'm waiting for the feed to mix. When you're shaving a bunk, you want to keep it as flat and 90 to the ground as possible. And that keeps it all nice, tight, and packed. You don't want a bunch of ridges in there, increasing the surface area that'll spoil. So you just want a nice flat wall. Alright, we got a top-down view here of feeding the big group. You can see the door to the tub is open and the cross elevator is distributing the feed. You basically use that door to the tub to kind of meter the feed out, depending on how many pounds you're trying to get to each section. And here I'm feeding the first group of milk cows. You can see they already have feed from previous carts. Just keep in mind, we mixed 3 milk cow carts, so I didn't film all of them. I just splice together the order, and that way you guys got a good idea of how things go. But I'd basically condensed it down into one cart. Here I'm feeding the heifers out back. These aren't quite breeding age yet. See the elevator working there to pull everything out. As the auger turns inside the tub, it kicks the feed out. And here's the last barn we're gonna feed. These heifers are 5 to 6 months old. You can see I'm just trying to get as close as I can without hitting anything so that the feed's right where they can reach it. This barn's a little trickier because each pen gets a certain amount of feed and you have to keep stopping and going, but it's such a small amount of feed that it's hard to meter out. And last thing I wanted to show you guys is some of our bunk maintenance. This is the big haylage bunk. It's ready to have the plastic moved back. So Mike and I are up here removing tires first, loading them into the bucket, and then we'll stack them along the wall for later in the year. Here I'm just scraping off some of the haylage that got kicked up on top. I'll clean this up and spread it out in the field because it's been sitting on top a while. It gets dried up and just not as good. See Mike's starting to fold it back there. We'll just roll it back and kind of hold it down with some of the tires so the wind can't blow it back. It's winter time right now, so spoilage isn't really an issue. In the summer, you don't want to expose any more than you have to. Well guys, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed the condensed version of mixing feed on our dairy, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks.